We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you your needed dose of the Menso Show. Parental discretion is advised.
Yo, and welcome back to the motherfucking Menso Show. We got my boy 1000 Hexagon, my girl Princess P. I done changed her name. And that fool over there, I don't even know who the fuck she is. I don't even know. What's her name?
She's the savior.
Audriene.
I was almost hexagoner. I was a hexagoner
On the cool?
during the break.
This man almost died.
I was
had to
choking on
perform
the
the
fucking
Heimlich
chip.
maneuver.
Thank God we had a nurse on staff because
Yes.
she literally
She
said
did the
no.
motherfucking, ¿cómo se llama? The Heimlich remover or
Heimlich
whatever it was.
And
was-
she wanted a
I think-
suplex. In it.
You
I
were
think she just
literally-
wanted to touch his nalgas, to be honest with you.
Hector, how stupid would it be if you went out with a chip? Like, that's how you went out.
Here lies Hector. Lost
The
to a chip.
the
Lost to
Mexican
a
tortilla
Lay's
chip
chip.
got him.
He didn't even get laid, but he was choked on a Lay's.
Hey,
nice.
No, we left off topic.
Hector
last time.
0, chip 1.
Death to life. What was your next question? We talking about life?
No,
we left
had-
off about
talked
we
about
wanted
death.
to know about death, and I almost had a near-death experience choking on this damn chip. But my new friend helped me out, saved me. We got it on video too, by the way. Go
We'll
to our
post it
TikTok,
later.
our IGs, all that. You get to see the exclusive footage.
Heimlich remover,
He
all
ate
of
the
the
chip that he
same.
choked out too.
Yeah, he choked it out.
He
I
ate
don't
it.
waste food. There's hungry kids in all parts of
my
the
He
world.
ate that fell on the floor.
Okay, but for real talk,
5-second rule.
being in the industry of like nursing and that hospital life, and you see death all the time, I'm sure. What is your perspective on death? Like, how do you see it versus somebody that doesn't see it every day?
Yeah, I mean, my sister asked me that question too because she can't even stand needles, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I just realized you see dead people at work."
I see
And
dead people.
it changes you definitely have to remain sensitive to the families and to the patient as well. And personally, death has changed for me over time. Like when I was first a nurse, when I first started nursing and I saw death for the first time, I was more like in the state of shock, and it was definitely educational for me. I was like, I can't believe this is happening this way. Some people go quickly, some people take days.
Fight and stuff, yeah.
So
Damn, man. So you see their journey into death from the beginning,
And
when they arrive to your.
Yeah, and we have to help these families withdraw care for their family members too if they've been suffering for too long, or there's been no progression, and their neurostatus has never improved. So anyway, yeah, we hold people's hands through all of that, and it's definitely taught me a lot about definitely my sensitivity, and just everybody doesn't. There's a lot of people you'd be surprised that don't understand how to deal with death.
Sure.
They don't know how to be there for their family member.
You said something. You said a word. It's like neurostatus.
Uh-huh.
And most people don't know what that is.
Their neurological
They
status.
don't.
Are
You
they
know, and it's
awake?
like, are they awake?
Yeah.
Do they have brain function?
Yeah.
Are they seeing
And
or
it's like,
feeling
it's
anything?
her job
Can they hear
to
you? Yeah.
tell
Determine
the relatives of that person that's laying there,
Their
bro.
neurostatus.
It's like, hey, there ain't no way.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. There's no where they're gonna hear you. There's no way that you know what I mean. What do you do? What do you feel? I mean, it's like, we were talking about therapy earlier, and it's like, man, how do you deal with situations like that?
You get trained for that, right? So in medical school, you actually have to do role playing.
Not exactly, no.
There isn't?
I mean,
Oh
no,
my
there's not
God.
actually.
What if I'm on the deathbed and I get a newbie?
Yeah, I mean,
Is that their first experience?
If you have a
She choked
newbie,
on a
no.
chip.
I'm just
On a
saying
chicken wing?
there's not emotional training to help families through a death of a family member. But of course, we all get preceptorships as new nurses. We get guided from experienced nurses. Yeah, so there's preceptorships, but yeah.
With that
But
change,
I kind of wanted to go deeper
ahead,
with
go-
that.
go-
with
go
the
ahead,
death
go ahead.
thing, because personally, I don't know why I'm this way. I don't see death all the time, but I take death very serious. I've had some close friends die, and just that experience alone made me feel how sensitive and how delicate our lives are.
Oh,
And so
100%.
I'm very unfortunate. It's like a fortunate and a unfortunate thing. I'm like, very spontaneous, and I'm very like go hard, go all out,
YOLO.
do it. Yes, because
All
of
day.
that experience that made me that way.
Yes.
Versus if I didn't see it or if I never had experienced it, I'd probably be more reserved and think long term all the time, and like, which is a good thing. But unfortunately for me, that experience has turned me to be very, very sporadic, very last minute, very like go all in, while being responsible. But you know what I mean?
What?
I tell people.
Does that make sense or no?
It
Very
makes total
reckless.
sense.
Very reckless. But
It makes total sense.
But I'm balancing reckless
Well,
and
life is a risk, carnal.
Well, it's also like, you know, you see all these diseases that are exacerbated or made worse by alcohol, by drugs, by certain substances.
And it doesn't
stuff.
even need to be that.
Well,
It
I
doesn't
mean,
need to be
yeah.
alcohol or abuse
I'll
or
probably wanna go
drugs or
out.
whatever. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, in your experience, it's like it's either heart attack or cancer or,
Oh, yeah,
or
it can
something
happen at
like
any
that.
minute. Mhm.
You know what I mean? So you're on a personal level with that individual to where you're like, how do you communicate with that person, also the family, also the whole, I mean, it's the whole demographic of the situation, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? It's like, I mean, I don't mean to throw my personal life in this situation because it's like my oldest son passed of cancer. So I know
So sorry.
what you're talking about. I know this practitioner that was like you giving him the way
Eurostars.
out,
Oh.
the situation, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and you don't have the power to control the death or life situation. So it's like, man, the therapy that you may possibly need in that occupation, and it's deep, it's stupid deep, where people don't even comprehend where you're coming from. Not at all.
Yeah.
But it's the profession that you have chosen, so we all here respect that.
Thank you.
You know, and
Yeah,
it's
absolutely,
and it's
100%.
like you deal with a certain different aspect of life in general, and life as a whole. You know, where you have to get deep with these people. So I feel for you. You
Thank
know what I
you.
mean? And I respect
And
you.
I
on
really
It's
that.
hope
definitely not easy.
I hope you're compensated. I hope your benefits are great. I hope you're.
I hope you
frickin-
make $1 million.
I hope your insurance is good. Just speaking of
Yeah.
that, how is your benefits and like your insurance stuff? Like, do you feel like you're benefiting from all of this? Like, do you get a good payback basically on that?
And that's the issue, right? It's compensation. Are we feeling compensated? That's why a lot of
Yes.
people choose to do travel nursing, because they feel like as a staff nurse, they're not being compensated for their hard work. I certainly did before I left. I left. I didn't like my job. I was working nights. I was run down. So yeah, the benefits though, that's a good question, because they're different than a staff nursing job. So travel nursing, we don't have 401k. We don't have insurance. I mean, you
that
do.
sucks
No,
because
no, it's not. It's actually not a bad thing, because
what's
You
in
can get
what's
some-
in place
you
of
can
it though?
instead of, yeah, so you see how we talked about how much money the travel nurses are making, right? Instead of having that automatically go into your 401k and having it matched like your regular staff job would do, you're getting, obviously you don't need to get it matched. They're already giving you the stipend money. It's tax free. You can put it anywhere you want. Why not put it into an index fund? Why not put it into a 401k of your own, not associated with your employment, but by yourself?
And that was my next question. How many of these benefits are tax free for you?
Just the living expenses and
Just the
meals.
living expenses?
Those are
Okay.
the only things that are
So
tax free.
the educational part of it is not, it's you have to pay that out of pocket, so to speak.
No, the certifications, those are also paid, but it's not like those are paid for. It's not tax free. They don't give you money for it. They pay
Okay.
for it. You send them your bill, and they send you that money back. So, but the insurance, that was a good thing. Yeah, you get separate insurance, sometimes with your agency, or sometimes you have to get it independently. There are insurance companies that will set up plans for you that are not associated with your job. They tend to be a tad bit more expensive, or maybe they're the same amount, but your deductible's higher. In my experience, I haven't needed it. Obviously, I'm a 30-year-old young person. Not many.
Healthy overall.
Yeah.
You take care of yourself.
Not many medical issues. Knock on wood. But yeah. So.
Iron.
Yeah.
Knock
Here we
on
go. Knock on
5.
wood.
Finally.
We'll knock on wood
But
for you.
yeah, the compensation's a big thing. Yeah.
Your job is just so interesting to me, and like the fact that you just travel in general is amazing. You involve yourself with like local agencies and agencies in general that like place you in different things. And let's say you get placed in an area, how do you decide? How do you move on? Like how do you move to other agencies and find different work?
So you were talking about local
Like
agencies.
local and versus travel.
Right. Yeah, I wanna differentiate. So there's staff nursing. There's the like Baylor University Medical Center. You could go there and be like, hey, I want to work underneath your company, and there's no contract. I want to work
But
here.
it's not
indefinitely.
necessarily an internship. You're getting paid for this.
Yeah, they're not paying for your living expenses. They're not giving you any extra things that travel nursing would. You could do that and still stay local, like somebody that had a family of kids that wanted to stay in the same city. You could be a
Gotcha.
staff nurse. You could also do local agency nursing. So that means you're not getting the stipend for the living and the meals
Because
you're-
you live there.
Yeah, but they are tending to pay you higher than a regular staff job because you're more flexible to change to different
We're
hospitals.
talking about $50 an hour, $100 an hour.
I don't actually. I've never done the local travel, or I guess it's local nursing.
Probably
local
too
agency
complacent,
nursing.
huh? Like it's just like just stay there. Do you just stay there?
Well, you get the feeling of that routine. You're in one place and so
Constant.
Actually, it's like the reverse thing, right? We were saying like if you travel and you meet somebody and they're willing to travel with you, what if you found someone like mentally everything
Yes.
higher than you and you get to stay there with them as well? Then you kind of look
and then you
into
settle
local.
down and you put down your roots.
Right.
Gotcha.
There might be men or women that have companies that they have to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like important.
Okay.
You have to be in mind like what their job is, or it doesn't necessarily have to be for a man. Maybe you just love the city. Maybe you love Chicago. You want to stay there. That's the place you've always meant to be. You can be a staff nurse, or you can do local agency nursing versus travel nursing.
The pay difference is
Ye-
substantial.
Yeah, your permanent tax address, this is good to know. Your permanent tax address has to be within 50 to 100 miles from the location that you're traveling to in order to get paid those stipends.
Damn. That's hella stipulations.
So
man.
how do they differ from like
to
Stipulations
be
for the
honest with you,
stipends.
it's like, man, you have to be within these parameters in order to get paid this much
Well, of course,
money.
there's got to be a
I mean,
system.
Mexicans will make holes underneath places and then just go through the tunnels.
Orale, El
That's
Chapo,
actually-
slow down, El Chapo.
El Chapo.
I actually want
Priscilla.
to talk about permanent tax address too, because that so basically we have taxes, right? Our taxes are different than California, aren't they? They
Yeah.
get
Most definitely,
Oh,
because
yeah.
their taxes are astronomical
Yes.
compared to ours.
and they get federal tax and federal income and state
state.
income. And so where you claim your permanent address for taxes is where you get taxed. So mine isn't within Texas, right? So if I travel to California, I don't get that state income tax because my permanent tax address is in Texas. Okay, so where you decide to make your permanent tax address is very important. And there's some people that don't have an address, right? There's some people that live with their parents. There's some people that like have stuff in a storage unit. They can claim their tax address anywhere in the U.S.
P.O. Box.
They have to decide where they're going to claim their tax address. That can make a whole bunch of difference on how you get paid. And so that's a big decision as well. Choosing, I mean,
Your tax
ideally,
address.
you want to
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
somewhere that has only
Wow.
federal instead of federal and state.
So how many
Interesting. That's
states
why a lot
out
of
there in the
Californians are
United
moving here.
States
Yeah.
have those parameters?
I wish I could tell you.
They're federal.
Come
yeah.
on,
I wish
that's
I could
not
tell
such a
you.
big
I don't have that
secret.
number,
You know,
no.
we want to dig in your pockets, girl. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I know when I went to Washington, they don't have state income tax. That was great. California, yeah.
California, Washington, most of
New
the
York.
western states don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, New York is one of them. Florida and the rest of the southern states along the borders, they're not going to give you what you're worth, bro.
Oh yeah.
They're not.
And that's where ironically, that's where it's, termed the hardest nursing is. And that's where I want to talk to you also about unions. because
And the most of the southern states have unions because
yeah.
of hurricanes and such.
No, actually, southern
Really?
states.
Well,
Sorry,
let's
Chris.
hear it because I
Sorry,
need to
Sid.
know the
Yeah.
info.
Let's get educated.
Let's get educated. Come on.
So
Wrong.
all states have to some
Sounded
degree
good.
unions, but
It did.
the bigger ones and the ones that provide more protection laws for nurses are states like I hate to keep saying Washington and California because that's the experience that I have, but there are other ones, and the biggest differences are like, first of all, patient ratios, right? When I go to work, I'm in the cardiovascular ICU. I do surgical, I do neuro. There's a bunch of ICUs that I do, but also the patient ratio is you should have one patient to one nurse, 1 to 2 patients to one nurse, depending on their acuity. How sick is this patient? If they're super sick, there should be only one nurse. And that's in many states that have unions that have high protection laws, they're only going to give you 1 to 2 patients. Now, me practicing in Texas, I was doing nursing here for 3 years. They would give me 3. They would give me 3 ventilated patients during COVID. They would have you.
Meaning ventilated, meaning these people are on some sort of
Yeah.
ventilator respiratory systems to keep them alive.
Yeah,
Wow.
artificial airways. Those people are so sick. They're on multiple drips. Some of them had COVID. I mean, and that's how bad some of these states can be in terms of protecting their nurses. And that's why a lot of travel nurses are doing
What's
what they're
your
doing.
PPE in that? You know what I mean? It's like
PPE, gown,
it's like,
gloves, N95, this mask that is just suffocating the heck out
is
of
it
you. smishing
you
your face.
have visors and
Yeah.
just like that?
Cappers, yeah. Some people are having the face shields, kind of the visor.
You
kind
have
of thing.
to. I mean, at that
Hell
point.
yeah.
Yeah. And you're going into airborne rooms, so you're having to do this gown in and out for every person that you're seeing.
And that is why they pay you what they pay you, because it's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Hazard pay would come into
Oh
that
my
no
God.
problem.
I hope no girls are like showing up with their hair done, lashes done, nails done.
Oh no, they
They
are,
can't.
girl.
Oh,
They're
they
on
are?
point.
Hey, they
And
got
they're
to be
doing good
fly.
nursing. I don't hate those girls. They're doing well.
Damn, I would think they couldn't just because of
No.
having to go
I
up
mean, the
and down.
nails,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
another
From
thing.
a
The
man's
nails
point,
is hard,
it's like,
yeah.
would you want if you're dying of COVID and all this
You
other
don't wake up
bullshit,
to
bro?
it.
Would you
Send me the hot nurse, baby.
would you want this chick with like 6-inch nails and
Her
shit
hair all
coming
put
in,
in,
like
looking
Does
like she
it-
just
does
woke
it help
up and shit.
revive
she
someone?
from Big T Bazaar and shit.
I
Can
mean, you might be
can
able
you
to
ring-
get some things out
can
of
you
the
ring
ears.
the
or
done-up
something.
nurse,
I don't
please?
know. I'm just kidding.
You want to let her get in your cooler like
Sorry.
that, cuz?
Okay.
Yes,
Shut
well, the
up.
one with the big nails, please.
Yeah.
Ones that
Shout
curl.
out to Big T Bazaar on them nails.
Yeah,
If
but
I'm on
why-
my deathbed, yeah, man, go for it.
So when
I
you're
don't know.
when you're in all
If I know I'm expected to live after a certain amount of period of time of
you'll
COVID
start acting
after that,
like you're sick.
exactly.
Oh, what did I call that out?
Fuck it.
Um,
Let whoever wants to get pissed.
But yeah,
get
just
pissed.
to end on that, I mean, unions are super important, protection laws. You don't want to end up. Oh, and that was just a little bit. I mean, even breaks in Texas, you get 30-minute breaks. Your neighbor is
OSHA is a
watching.
motherfucker, boy.
Your
Yeah.
neighbor? What do you mean?
Your neighbor, the person that's taking care
That's
of
right.
the patients next
It's
to
like
you.
your wingman and shit.
She's taking care of her nurses and watching your nurses. That's 4
During that
nurses.
30-minute break?
Or sorry, patients. She's watching her patients.
Get it right.
oh
And-
wow, so
and
you're
having-
covering each other.
Yeah.
For those 30 minutes.
In California, that's illegal. You have a break
You
nurse.
can go to jail.
She has no
break
patients,
nurse.
and she's there to watch your patients only.
So she only works during your breaks?
She's called a break nurse or a resource nurse. Yeah. So
How'd you get that
that's
job?
Basically, your assistant.
And do they?
Yeah.
And you
that's-
have to
What's their
rely on her
What's their compensation like
to do your job.
It's the same. They get paid the same as we do.
for working an hour?
No. They come and break everybody, and then they come
They
help.
rotate.
Oh.
Yeah.
About an
They're
8-hour
rotating.
shift.
They're rotating.
Menso.
8-hour
They
shift.
They only work
Yeah.
at 1 hour.
Yeah.
I'm like, what degree did they?
Next job you need
Why
to do
didn't you do
resource
that?
nursing.
Gotcha.
No. They get paid the same. But yeah, the breaks, 30 minutes in Texas. In California, I just got back from, we have one 30-minute break, and then 4 hours later, we have a 45 to an hour break.
Damn, that's dope.
It's great, and it's covered. They hold your phone. I mean, they have patient care techs. Sometimes here in other states, they don't even have patient care techs there to assist you with baths, checking like urine outputs and stuff like that.
You
they
know,
don't
it's
have that
funny you
stuff.
say baths. It's like, you know, my daughter, I mean, she's like, you have to go care for these people. You know, it's like they can't care for themselves. So it's like much props to you. It's like,
We were talking about that
damn,
earlier.
bro.
Washing
Got you
ass.
ready. Like, you'll be
Washing
ready.
some
Hey, I'm
ass.
gonna be in Pampers. I'm gonna be like, come change me, dog.
Like it'll feel worth it to have those kids.
All that aside, I mean, we've been
Jokes,
talking a lot
jokes.
about your professional career. You know what I mean, and you've done great as a young adult.
Shit.
Thank you.
What do you want to do as an older adult? I mean, what do you? I mean, you want to go on vacations?
You
do
mean
you
your
want
age?
these?
Yes.
Vacation.
Exactly. What do you want to do when you're my age? Do you want to be out on an island somewhere? Do you want to be retired? Do you want to be?
She wants kids.
You
she
know what I
said.
mean? Do you want
Kids,
exactly?
yeah.
Do you want kids? Do you want?
I want to retire early. I want to create generational wealth. I want to set them up for their future.
That's the third
and
time I've heard
education.
you say that.
I'm huge
And-
on
and
investing. I should create a whole new podcast on
Generational
investing.
wealth
We-
should
we-
be instilled
got a
in
lot of that
kids
going on.
at the age of
100%.
10 and beyond.
Uh-huh.
Because the more you say it, the more they're going to comprehend it.
Yes.
Generational wealth.
Yes.
Because I mean, there's nothing other than that. We want to care for our people down the line, and I like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You've said it twice, 3 times. Generational wealth. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not all about career.
It's
and
not all. It's
self.
not all about money. Wealth comes in different forms. You know,
Yes.
education, health, love, companionship, having good circles. That's wealth.
Very
Having
true.
good people around you. That's wealth.
My parents immigrated to this country, and their roots were not down when they came here. They created their own roots. I'm here to help strengthen that for my kids and give them a good foundation so they can succeed. I know a lot of people don't have that, and some people are very fortunate to have that they don't even know. That's what they have. So
Silver spoon
Yep.
is what we call it here in America. Silver spoon.
We call them chiflados.
that too.
Spanish.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a big difference between someone who works their ass off for their money and for their security, and then
Someone that's just given that.
exactly
Yeah.
They
yeah.
have
Silver
no
spoon.
idea.
they have no idea what
But I
hard
like
work
to
is.
connect with those.
Listen,
Like I was saying earlier, I like to connect with those that have a story, that have a work ethic, that are very in tune with their life and work hard for it. It just
Yeah.
makes for a whole
You know
different
what we need?
personality.
We
What?
need to bring somebody that's the opposite now.
You
Somebody
may
that has
not be
not
it.
worked hard for it. We need to bring somebody that just had it
I
made
can
from
find
start
some
to finish.
fuckboys.
where Cooper at? Where's
Like, I know
Cooper
a
at? Where my boy Cooper?
Let me look through my-
Unfortunately, we don't know anybody like that because
Damn.
birds of a feather
know
flock
maybe
Dust
one
the
together.
person
cobwebs off
like
of
that.
Tinder real quick.
I know one person like that, and
There you go.
he won't
that.
even talk to none of
Damn.
y'all. I mean, I know one person like that, man, in this whole world, but I can't even say his name. He's that deep. It's like, why? Because the why is, I don't need you in that business. I don't need you to know how many years I've been doing this. I don't need you to know how many times I've done this, how much education I've had. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like I could have 1,000,000 fucking acres and you not even know about it. It's those type of people, you know what I'm saying, that are humble. And the experience is what it gives you, you know what I'm saying? After I'm gonna be 50.
Damn.
And I don't brag about
You look great.
I don't
I thought
brag
you were gonna be
about
60.
Sorry.
you know what I
Knock
mean
on wood.
about what I've done in this world. I brag about the people I keep in my circle.
Mine
And
your
my circle
Chris?
is I
You're
don't
in the
know,
square.
fool.
Step in
I
the
don't
square.
know, girl.
That's part of travel nursing.
You know,
That's really
it's
important
like-
to me too.
I mean, Hector I've known for over 20
We're family.
years.
Yeah.
20 years.
I mean, life in general, like
You know
there's
what I
some people
mean?
that are doing the
No,
same
it's
thing
true.
that I'm doing, that are just like taking people in left and right. I'm more selective.
And you
with
have
my
to be.
You
time.
have to be.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They
The
say
more
look
selective
at
you
your
are,
circle,
the
right?
better.
Look at the people around you, and if you want to know where you're going to be at in the next 5 to 10 years, look
Oh,
at the
yeah.
look at the circle that you
yes,
keep.
I say that all the time.
Yeah, and it really is. What happens is you start to get influenced by their habits, their, just their routine that they're into. So if they're into education, then you're going to be into education. If they're into travel, you're going to be into travel. If they're into fitness, you're going to be drawn into fitness.
Exactly.
And so you
I mean,
start getting exposed to their
I mean,
lifestyle.
I love
that's
that.
what I
That's-
used to
that's
tell
exactly
my
right.
kids. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I grew up a gangster, and I tried so hard to get out that shit. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like,
Like to remember.
if I were a suit and type cat, all my life, you would have been a suit and tie. You know what I mean? It's like
I think you would clean up really nicely.
Yeah.
I think you
I
look.
don't know.
He does.
tight
He
in a
has.
suit. I'm ready
For
to
my
put
daughter's
you in one.
quinceañera, he came through looking sharp.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't
He
even
looked
remember.
good.
I was fucked
You
With
up.
that braid?
Me too, but I remember.
With the whole, I'm gonna end it with one more question for Audriene.
Audriene
I got one.
Zare.
So,
Let's hear it.
how do you go about finding your next contract?
Yes, and that's like probably one of the most stressful things about my job, because you're trying to figure out you're reaching. Well, first of all, when I started travel nursing, I was like thinking about quitting my job and then starting this whole journey, right?
Yeah.
The first thing, obviously, I didn't like just say, "Hey, I'm quitting my job and doing travel nursing" to my manager. I went out and sought out some agencies. There's like,
But you had to do that yourself.
You're almost a
right?
contractor.
Like you have to.
You're
have
basically
that
an independent
power to
contractor.
be like, I'm good.
We know all about
yes,
that.
Right?
You got to take that leap. And I'm like, I started. Well, there were travel nurses in my unit. I was a staff nurse, and I was seeing these people making like $90 an hour during COVID. I was like, how can I do what you're doing? You know. And they were like, first of all, you can ask for their recruiters with their specific agency, so they'll give you that information. Or you can do another thing, which I do all the time. I'll go on Facebook. I'll go on Facebook on the travel nursing group. There's one that say 5,000 plus a week or 2,000 plus a week, depending on what you're looking for. You put in your needs. I'm a travel ICU nurse. I've had 4 years of experience. I want to do 36 hours a week, day shift. You put in all your requirements, you will get blown up. You will be shocked. There'll be 10 to 20 nurses or 20 recruiters reaching out to you. And the biggest thing is to weed out the ones that are going to waste your time. Because
Yeah.
there's going to be people.
That sounds.
It's like dating.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like
It's
contracting to
100%.
me.
Yeah.
It sounds like us.
salesmen's.
Like
They're-
we're-
Anybody.
they're
We,
sales-
we turn down. We're looking to sometimes turn down jobs too, because not all business is good business.
Yeah.
It's got to make sense for your time that you're essentially giving up,
Damn, yeah.
Yeah, and like
and education.
I
and
put this out
experience.
recently on my last post, which I felt like was so good, because I thought at first I was like, oh my God, I'm not getting as many responses. I'm kind of worried. But I put my needs on there. I was like, Dallas, 36 hours, preferably day shift. I will do nights. I have 5 years of this, adult ICU. And I put on the bottom of it, I was like, P.S., please don't ask if I'll do 48 hours. Please don't ask if I'll do another city.
So is it the Metroplex that you're wanting to stay in, or you're not
Yeah,
wanting to travel in?
For the holidays, I have a lot of family here, so yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And it's that decision you made. It's like, I'm going to stay in.
She takes the pay cut.
Exactly.
Well, Chris, after I
Exactly.
posted,
That's exactly what the fuck I was going to say. It's
Yeah.
like, you take that pay cut to stay home.
Yeah, for the holidays.
yeah, you
for the
can't chase the money
holidays.
out all the time.
No.
You know, it's not a healthy life. if
See,
you
I
just
like that
chase the
because-
So
money.
it's
essentially,
not
it's
all
just
about
like
money
being
for
an
you.
independent contractor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But posting
Sometimes
that
it's
though,
good. Sometimes it's
Yeah,
not.
exactly.
5 solid recruiters reached out to me. They were like, "You seem like a no BS kind of person, and I'm here to help you." They didn't ask me the same questions twice. I told them exactly what I wanted.
Do you
And
have
sometimes-
preferred recruiters?
What's up?
Do you have preferred recruiters?
You do, and sometimes you have unpreferred recruiters. I've had recruiters that I had for like a year, and you start to notice they're less and less trying hard for you. They're trying for those new nurses that are coming and getting their business. So you really just have to keep your eyes out. Some
Wow,
people,
it's like contracting.
You know,
Yeah.
it is exactly like it because
It
she could
sounds
just
very
she could just say,
similar.
"Hey, I'm going to take the next 3 months off,"
Uh-huh.
and you can. You're
And
not.
you-
You're not.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not forced to stay as a staff nurse anywhere and request time off.
you're not even specifically forced to stay with an agency. You can shop. That's what I do. I shop for the best rates. I shop for the best situation. If all the contracts that this agency, because not every agency has the same contracts. Okay, so Medical Solutions might have contracts with 3 hospitals.
Medical Solutions, Mensa. Put that down. We're trying
and
to get
then
every plug.
Incredible Health might have jobs at other hospitals that are closer to you, might have a better charting system that you're more aware of or something like that. So you have to shop. Like, you can't just trust in everything with it. That's my advice.
It's the Trader Joe's versus the Kroger's.
No, isn't it Trader Joe's versus Whole Foods?
Oh,
I don't know. I don't shop at home.
Central Market peasants.
Wow.
I go to Central Market for the snacks, food, and that's it.
Aldi versus Whole Foods. How about that? That's
Go to
weird.
Aldi's
Soup
food?
bar,
No,
Aldi-
I go
Aldi-
everywhere.
Aldi's
I go
dope.
to Whole Foods and Aldi.
What grocery store do you shop at?
Sprouts all the way.
Yeah,
What
What?
the fuck?
Yeah,
Interesting.
right.
I could've
Organic.
gone there. Never been there.
organic. They have vegan.
Damn.
They have
Trader
vegan
Joe's has
lineup.
organic.
They had these brine
I've been there,
chickens
but
in the
their
past. They were wonderful.
their selection is kind of low.
There it is.
Yeah.
All off topic. All off topic because that's just how I do it.
Oh God, I'm scared.
What is your diet? I mean, what kind of food do you like? Do you
Oh.
prefer
Yeah, let's find out a
Iranian
little
food,
bit
Persian
personal.
food, Mexican food,
Top 3.
white food, black food? I mean,
I love food. I'm not a picky eater. I do try to eat like pretty healthy, so I stay like high protein, vegetables, meats. I am like gluten free and dairy free to some degree, but like there's sometimes I break that a little bit.
I broke down and got some oat milk the other day. That shit was the bomb.
It's good.
And I only got it because it's
Why,
Menso
you don't drink
got
dairy?
me. No, I don't drink dairy because
Go
it's like,
gluten-free.
I'm lactose
Man,
intolerant.
go-
I mean,
And this dude, I mean,
Cow's
he turned
milk
me
is the
into
worst
oat.
thing.
I'm
Cow's
not a
milk is the worst
nutritionist.
thing
I'm not gonna
humans
tell
can
you how to
drink.
eat, but
Get away from cow's milk.
yeah.
Period.
Cow's
yeah.
milk?
Dairy is horrible for you. An excess of meat is horrible for you.
But you will
Nursing,
enjoy a
nursing
big
shows
steak.
you how much your diet is a big contributor to your health.
Overall
like,
health,
100%.
mental health,
You are what you
your
eat.
energy,
I always
I've
say
been
absolutely
that.
skinny
everything.
all my life.
That's
You know,
'cause
I've been trying to get fat all my
you
life.
eat grass fed.
You have? You
Hell
were
yeah,
fat
I want to try to
earlier.
get over like 215.
I wish that was my problem.
I know, right?
I'm trying to get over 215. I'm gonna get up.
I'm
know,
like, let me stand up
Dad
straight so I look
bobs,
better in this.
dad bods are
I
in
eat air.
style.
I don't know.
I breathed it away.
I don't know. I'm done with my dad bod. I'm trying to get
Whatever,
back
you
that
guys.
chisel. I want that
You guys,
chisel.
it's been a pleasure.
I'm
I'm
trying
so
to get a
happy you guys met
six-pack
today and you
ab.
brought her on. You're
Absolutely.
I'm
You know,
so-
we wanted
I'm
you to-
honored to be here. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Did
through.
you have
We
fun?
appreciate-
I did. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun.
Good.
I definitely want to finish off with anybody that wants to do travel nursing in the future. If you're thinking about quitting your staffing job and taking this leap, you're never going to feel ready. It's always going to feel weird. Change is always going to feel odd. And if it's something that you're ready to do in your life, like everything in your life is just setting you up for this, take the leap, you know? I'm not saying quit your job before you have a travel nursing gig. Find your travel nursing gig first and your contract, get it signed. But start to look into that. At least start to speak to some recruiters and get some information.
Life's a risk.
Yeah, I gotta take risks.
Yeah,
For sure.
smartly,
No
smartly,
risk.
smart
Yeah,
risks.
Calculated,
Calculated
Calculated
risks.
risks.
I said that to my brother the other night. Thank you so much for everybody for joining us, man. The Menso Squad loves you very much. We'll catch you guys on the next one. We're out. Peace.
Then watch your way.